Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So we're just going to dive right into this. Okay, so I'm just going to state real fast who this message is for. It's definitely for somebody who has a high priestess, high priest sort of energy signature. This is something that somebody is going to be aware of. This is not confirmation, right? This is something somebody already knows. The rest of the message is the confirmation. So if you don't recognize this as you, this most likely is not your message. You're more than welcome to listen to it and see if anything stands out to you that feels right for you. But this is definitely who this message is for. Now, there's aspects of this message that tie back to yesterday's message. I'm almost getting the sense that this week it's going to be like that. There's going to be a continuation of energy that flows throughout the week. Who it's for may morph and change, but it seems like a continuation of a general lesson that we all learn, right? That we all learn at some point within our spiritual progression. So what's happening here is I'm seeing this card. This is sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness, and sensuality. What this is really speaking to me about is this lotus here that is sort of opening up. And if you look up here, it almost looks like a gateway that has like an eye. This is this energy where we have discovered something about ourselves, right? A lot of you may have worked on the sacral chakra healing, working with the inner child, working on your creativity, working on really getting to know yourself, right? Your self-security. This seems to be opening up this understanding of what it is that we actually want for ourselves in our life, especially in the context to this, right? How to express this better. Someone is realizing that this is who they really are. How do I step into this role? How do I bring this forward? Someone is understanding that this really is the question. This is the question they need to ask themselves at this time. One of the things that's happening here is that in order to ask that question, there are certain narratives and certain beliefs that we've had to release, certain masks that we've worn, right? This might be the mask of the 9-to-5 that's required. It might be the mask of the ego with that crown. We're learning that we have to pick and choose our battles in some sense, and we're also learning that we have to release our expectations for how things work out. Someone here is learning a great deal of trust in their universe, right? And I think that's beautiful because that's definitely required. One of the things that I'm seeing here is that as we're learning this trust of the universe, we're understanding that what we're really receiving is we're receiving this very beautiful nurturing of ourself. It's almost as though the more that we step into this and trust, the more that this is being fulfilled, the more that it's receiving energy. For some of you, this is very oracular, so you may be finding that you are channeling more at this time, or that you're receiving more information, more messages at this time. Maybe even just a ramping up of synchronicities, for example. Some of you are actually experiencing this as energetic experiences within that sacral chakra space. You know, again, going back to yesterday's message, which I will link at the end of this video, try not to question it too much. Try not to figure out what it means. You know, really putting ourselves in that energy of, again, that's kind of an energy of lack, right? When we have to have all the answers and we feel like we're frustrated and we don't know, that's really putting ourselves in energy of lack, and that's going to bring you back into this energy again. So try to release that and just allow the experience, right? You have plenty of time to figure out what it means. So if you want to do that. Here, one thing that I see is taking place is this. So I'm not necessarily reading this way. Well, I will. Okay, so we'll do two things here. We're going to read this two ways. First, the first way is that in the past, quite possibly what was happening here is that we didn't feel like we were fully ourselves. We have empty well. We may have felt very unfulfilled in this aspect, and especially within that, again, that sacral space, right? Our creativity, our joy, our ability to love and connect in a very sort of deep, the human animal sort of way, right? Where we have that tribal connection. We have that very communal sort of connection with one another. Now, this may even relate back to our families. This may result sometimes in very rocky relationships with our families. And this is really about where we fit in, how we fit in. This seems to have been the issue. How do I fit in to this? How does my creativity fit in? How does my vision for myself even fit in? Now, one of the things that's taking place now seems to be that as we're plugging in, again, going back to this, as we're plugging in and we're understanding our place. We're stepping into this authenticity of ourselves as this priest or this high priestess sort of energy. We're understanding exactly what role we play. We understand where in the divine matrix we fit in, and that's allowing this energy to come in. So again, we have this repetition of these two energies right here taking place. This is also a repetition of that. However, there's a little bit more coming through in this. So if we look, we have He of the Fiery Sword, which is about the truth. It's also about very laser focused energy. That's one of the messages that came out yesterday also. We see that kind of superimposed upon this figure. And she is this sort of pillar of creation. Somebody here is really finding that as they're opening up this sacral space to really discover who they actually are, they are really, and this authenticity is radiating from them. They're understanding that they're actually manifesting things much quicker, right? This is where we become extremely potent as people, and our manifestation and creation capabilities starts to ramp up. So definitely more signs, more synchronicities, having thoughts of, oh, you know what, this would be nice, and then suddenly hearing that you have an opportunity to do it, or that, you know, it shows up on your doorstep. Things like that. We're starting to manifest our own reality now. And the interesting thing about that is that when we do that, this happens. Now, I'm not necessarily reading it this way. I will read it just in case it resonates for something somebody's going through it. Seraphim's Gateway, Voice Activation, Angelic Attunement, Divine Support. What I'm really seeing here is this. Now, if we look at this, that almost looks like, you know, that Vesica Pisces, right? That point through which worlds merge, and it also becomes that portal for creation. We have this circle in the background, which is this radiation of energy, and we have all these wings and including this little plume of a spiral of energy. This is what tends to happen for me when I look at these images. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing this amalgamation of all these chakra colors, right, coming together, and this beautiful, like, very divine being kind of emerging from this point of creation. Someone here is really starting to understand, because they have fully embraced who they are. And, you know, there's probably lots of narratives that had to be released in order to do this, right? Lots of, oh, you're just being egotistical, or, oh, you're deluding yourself, and, you know, oh, like, you're never going to do anything with that. All those things seem to have been released. And as we're doing so, we're finding that we ourselves as divine beings are unfolding. When I first switched over to doing art full time a few years ago, and, you know, my path changed, but that was my path for a while. And when I first started doing that, I had this feeling of just this wild creator just unfurling, and that's how it felt. It felt like this very powerful unfurling. I was just creating all the time, all this stuff everywhere I went. And even when I was speaking to people, I was creating inside of them, like, you know, the desire to create. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that somebody here, as they're stepping into this energy, they're understanding the attunement to the divine that has to take place, but they're also understanding themselves on a deeper level as this divine being that is now unfurling. This is very powerful. This is very powerful. Somebody here feels very powerful. They're understanding the power of their voice specifically. The power of the voice is definitely coming through, both in this card with that voice activation, and also this light blue chakra coming through, right? That throat chakra. And if you look inside of it, what you're really seeing is you're seeing a galaxy. And it's like a galaxy that's been fractaled, right? Fractalized. It's got like this fractal thing happening over it. This is where we're taking our energy, and our energy of our voice and our words is almost a microcosm of a macrocosm of creation. We're coding things into existence somehow. So be very mindful of the things that you say in this space as you're stepping into this energy, because here one of the points of your manifestation power is what you're saying, right? He of the Fiery Sword. This is, you know, when we talk about swords, that's our voice. That's what we're saying. Those are words. It's communication. There's a great deal of power of communication that's coming through here. Okay, I'm just going to say this. I want to bring up two goddesses that may be important. And it's funny because this actually was in my Major Arcana series video last night for the members. Two goddesses that may be important, just because I was I was pushed to look at the lions here, the two lions flanking this individual. Okay, so they're saying, I'm rattling off a bunch of stuff here. Obviously, ancient Egypt might be important here just because of the pyramids that are present and this figure. Also, the concept of Heka might be important for somebody, not Hecate, Heka. Okay, so with the two lions, the goddess Ishtar might be very important for somebody, and then also Inanna, and then the goddess Cybele or Cybele might be important for somebody. The land of Phrygia might be important for somebody with that, also Acadia. So I'm just going to leave that there. We're going to move on over here. So one of the things that I'm seeing here with the eye of the needle, intentionality, this is where, again, because we understand that we're coming into this place where we're manifesting things a little bit more. Maybe we've just gotten glimpses of it, and this is the confirmation part of the message, is that yes, you are manifesting. The advice seems to be to get very intentional right now. As we step into this unfolding energy, as we unfold, that in and of itself is a gateway opening for us. It's an energetic gateway opening for us. There's a great immense amount of power behind those times, right? It doesn't stay with us forever. It's like this spurt of, something new. It's a new activation, a new energy. So for example, a lot of people, when they first stepped onto their spiritual path, they had a lot of synchronicities, and what they don't realize is they probably manifested a lot of things that then became what they consider synchronicities. The same thing happens when people adopt a new religion, or when they have a new child that's born. These openings of new energy, these are immensely powerful times. And so someone here is being guided to use that intentionally. Focus on something that you've always tried to get now, as you're embracing this energy and as this is unfolding for you, because one of the things that's happening in this is that your vibration is rising. Literally, this says you are the oracle, right? We have this pillar of light theme that keeps coming through in these cards. Okay, even with this deck here, with that, there is something that is aligning within us. And when we find ourselves in this type of alignment, alignment is creation, right? We are manifesting things right now. So be very mindful of that. Some of you, that's the confirmation part for you, is that yes, you are actually manifesting here. We also have this succession of numbers that keeps showing up here. Example right off the top of my head right now as I'm looking around is 16, 17. So again, that idea of something is rising, something is ascending in some way. And what this is bringing us into is a greater space of love. This is the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. This is bringing us into a greater sense of love. But this is also grabbing the attention of people around us. People may be focusing on us more. And the reason why is because we finally clicked in to the functional role that we have within the spiritual universe. A lot of us live our lives outside of that role. We live this sort of illusion that we have to do these things that we're not necessarily wanting to do, or we're not necessarily happy with. And I'm not talking about for work. I'm just talking about with our time and our energy, right? But we don't necessarily step up to the plate of who we actually are and who we know ourselves to be. Some of us, we don't know who we are, and we have spent a great deal of time trying to uncover that. And I think that whoever I'm reading for here, you've already done that. You already know about this, right? And now we're starting to lock into that energy, even in taking the practical steps to get there. So maybe, for example, one of the ways that you want to do this is you want to become a school teacher. So you're going to school, right? And you want to transmit knowledge this way. That's still you clicking into this spiritual paradigm, because you're understanding where your role is and you're taking active steps to get there. As you do that, you're going to experience this. You're going to find that there's more love around you, that there's more attention around you. You have more love to give to others as well. For some of you, you might be doing this in terms of like studying Reiki, and you want to be a healer, but you want to step more into this role with it. Whatever way you choose to manifest this energy. And it doesn't always have to be this commonly believed, like, you have to keep it all spiritual and be like extreme and excessive about it. You could do this as a therapist. You could do this as a public speaker. You can do this as an author. There are plenty of real life applications where this is going to fit in. You don't always have to be a reader. You don't always have to be, you know, a spiritual guru or whatever people think that you have to be in order to step into this energy. You know, some of you are doing this in a very 3D sense, and it's because it's needed there. This is exactly where it's needed. And as we step into that, and as we click into the place that we actually belong in all of this, this is what happens, right? We start to understand that there is this beautiful unfurling of self, and that unfurling of self is allowing us to experience humanity the way that it was meant to be experienced. So I'm going to leave this here. Whoever this resonates for, congratulations. This is beautiful. I'm going to probably not post tomorrow. I'm thinking I'm not going to post tomorrow. I want to take tomorrow for myself, and I want to bank up some readings so I can schedule them out so that I'm ahead a little bit. So I will see you guys in a couple of days, and if this resonated for you, please hit the like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.